Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin, and I'm recording this video to be talking about phonetics and phonology. During this recording, I will be explaining the following topics, which are what are phonetics and phonology, their differences, the organs of speech, the sounds of speech, and some examples, certainly about 3 examples. And now, without any other further ado, I will be starting the topic of this video. First of all, what are phonetics? So, phonetics is basically the study of the speech of words, which are very useful for people to comprehend the certain sounds that are produced with our mouth. In other words, phonetics is the study to know how the words sound when we are trying to pronounce them. So then we can know how to pronounce the perfect sound of a certain word for its pronunciation. On the other side, phonology is referred to be the way of to know how will a word sound when we try to pronounce it. Phonology is an essential tool for the study of the words, since this provides the sounds that are required to pronounce a certain word. What differs between phonology and phonetics is sort of what I said earlier. Phonetics induce the variation of sound for a certain word, while the phonology relates to the pronunciation and intonation of that word. So you can say it clearly without any mistake when you want to pronounce it. And now that this is already explained, let's keep heading with the following, and that is the organs of speech. Now, the organs of speech, to be more clear, are the moves that are done with our mouth, along with other parts, including the teeth, the thumb, and the uvula. They are an essential part from our body when it involves about our pronunciation tone. And if it wasn't for them, then we couldn't pronounce an amount of words, along with the sounds that we couldn't pronounce without them. And speaking of, when we want to say a word, there is also a tool that we may not identify. Every word has its own sound, and they can vary depending on the word that you want to say. That is known as the classification of sounds. Words can vary depending on the intonation of the sound that will be used. And let me tell you, there are words whose letters may look similar, but their sound and intonation are completely different. And you may be asking yourself, how is that even possible? Well, that's because the classification of words are described in around 7 or 5 tones that I will be explaining right now. First of all, there's the bilabial sound. Now, the bilabial sound is a sound that is produced with the lips, obviously because of the definition of bilabial, labial and the lips. This sound is produced when the lips are joined to make the sound. For example, when we want to join the lips to produce the word V, B, 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 you see? B. This is how the bilabial sound may be used, like this, B, B. But also it can be used for the letter V, B, B. So it sounds like if we want to throw up, but it's sort of hilarious, but at the same time this is how it is work. So yeah, the bilabial sound is produced, in other words, because we join the lips and we produce this sound. B, 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 B. When the bilabial sounds are used, most of the time it's used for the letters V and B. so we can pronounce the words that are most known for this pronunciation, such as bat and vet, vet and vet, bill, veal. So yeah, that's an example for how to use bilabial sounds. Now that this is already explained, the following sound is the labiodental sound. Now, the labiodental sound, it's sort of similar to the bilabial sound, since this time the lips are joined with the teeth to produce this sound, which can be the following. You see? This sound is produced when we join the lips along with the teeth to produce this sound. So then we can produce the labiodental sounds. Now, the following sound is the interdental sound. Now, the interdental sound is produced when we join three parts of the body, which are the tip of the tongue with the upper and the lower teeth. This provides the sound to make two types of sounds, which are the voiceless and the voice. So the voiceless sound, in this case of the interdental sound, is produced in this tone, while the voice sound is produced by the following tone, which is this one, t, t. Some examples for the interdental sound can be the following. For the voiceless voice, it can be, for example, thick, thin, then, and some other words. While the voice sound can be words such as then, this, that, this, and so much more. Next is the uvulus. So the uvulus sound is produced when the tongue is brought back with the uvula. In this case, it is brought back so it can produce the following sound. R, R, R. So this sound is produced down by the uvula sound. There are certain words that are provided with the uvula sound, but they are less that are in the middle than at the beginning of the word to produce that sound, such as, for example, parrot, parrot, roar, roar. These produce the uvula sound, some at the beginning and some whether it be in the middle or at the end of the syllable. Next is the glottal sounds. Now, the glottal sounds are sounds that are produced by moving the vocal folds. And just like the interdental sounds, these may vary between the voiceless and the voiced sounds. When a glottal sound is voiceless, it's pronounced with H, just like it's voiceless. So it is sort of silent. It is sort of a silent vocal. So it doesn't sound pretty much. So that's why the H is considered a glottal sound for a voiceless sound. While on the other hand, when it is a voiceless, it sort of sounds like for example, uh-oh, or some sort of words that are joined by a vocal such as the U or the O. So they produce this sound along with the glottal sound. So yeah, and these are all the classification of sounds that you require for a perfect intonation and pronunciation of words. Now, before I finish, I would like to show some examples for how does a perfect pronunciation with including this classification of sounds are required. So without any other further ado, I will start explaining some words using the classification of sounds as an example. Here we have certain words such as the following: bat, bet, sat, set, mat, met, pen, pen, tan, tan, pet, pit, set, sit, let, lit, hem, him, pen, pin, fell, fail, ship, ship, bit, bit, meet, knit, chip, chip, seam, seam, met, mate, ate, ate, wet, wait, when, wane, get, gate, ran, rain, woke, woke, knock, note, choke, choke, clock, cloak, yawn, yawn, cut, coat, park, perk, card, curb, bat, bird, shark, shark, fast, first, burn, burn. And there we go. Here are certain words that we use the classification of sounds. And that is all for today. I hope you guys are doing fine, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye everybody, and peace.